Haskell Stakes recap. Journalism wins the Haskell in a thriller. What are the implications going forward from this race? And did Bill Mott dodge journalism with sovereignty? Welcome to All Horse Racing All the Time. I'm Alan, your host. Well, journalism gets it done again, wins another G1. This time the G1 Haskell had to fend off both Gosker again and goal-oriented. Bob Bafford's goal-oriented. Bob, already the winner of the Haskell 9 times in an absolute thriller at the wire, right? And it didn't come easy for journalism. Again, found himself in trouble, kind of like he did in the Preakness, shaky start. This time again, journalism in the Haskell yesterday, he was running 7 wide for much of the, not 7 wide, he's running in 7th place most of the race. And then he actually had to turn around and go really wide to run down Gosker and goal-oriented. Poor Gosker again gets nailed by journalism. And we've seen this before. And goal-oriented put up a bold fight, even looked like he might get it done, heading towards the wire. But journalism gets it done. Gets it done. Umberto Rispoli, is this his fault? He's taking some hits for a number of his rides on journalism. Really just mowed him down. When it came down to the end, he wasn't going away. Look close at the wire. You can see the picture behind me, the 3 horses crossing the wire. But, journalism had to go really wide, covered more ground. Sure, he's going to have the better thoroughgraph, magazine sheet numbers, with the covering all the ground that he had to do to get it done. Gets it done, right? What does this mean going forward? Well, and what about sovereignty? Where was sovereignty yesterday? Skipping a G1? Was Bill Mott afraid of journalism? Was Bill Mott dodging journalism with sovereignty? That could go either way. Why might he be dodging them? Well, if you look at the numbers, by the number, sovereignty, he's gotten the 2 times. Yeah, he says, no, he's not dodging him. He beat him twice. Well, sovereignty had dream trips in both the Kentucky Derby and in the Belmont Stakes. Things set up his way, and especially they set up his way with the wet track. We're seeing now that sovereignty does his best running on a wet track. So Bill Mott, what about by the numbers? Who's the faster horse? Well, he might have beat him a couple of times, sovereignty did, on the wet track. Perfect conditions, perfect setup. Let's look at the numbers between sovereignty and journalism. Let's look at the Equibase numbers. You could look it up yourself. We'll start with by the raw numbers. Journalism already, including yesterday, has 4 races considerably faster by the numbers than sovereignty. Plain and simple. And his one, if you go back 5, okay, he's faster than him in 5. And his next fastest race is a 106 Equibase figure. And that is sovereignty's fastest race, 106. So journalism already has 4 races faster than sovereignty. He's the faster, superior horse. He's out of Curlin. I know. Sovereignty into mischief. Yeah. Sovereignty is a nice horse. He's a beautiful horse. A love story there. Bill Mott, everybody loves Bill Mott. Well, not everybody. He did skip the Preakness, right? What's up with that, Bill? Come on, man. You should know better. He comes back. Now, did he dodge sovereignty here? Well, by the speed figures, yeah, he definitely dodged him. Was he going to get a wet track on a speed favoring track or a fast track like Monmouth? Maybe not a fit. He's instead going to the Jim Dandy next week. A G2, passes on the G1, passes on facing journalism. I'll tell you what, yesterday, I don't think sovereignty would have even finished top 4. Because by the numbers yesterday, these 3 all ran faster numbers than sovereignty ever has. And a closer like Birmingham Square, whatever, he was no factor in the race. And I think sovereignty might have been the same deal, 4th place or less. So Bill sends him to Saratoga. So, by the speed figures, by his history, skipping the Preakness, Bill's hands might have been tied for the Preakness, though, for a couple of reasons, which I'm not going to go into in this video. So he might not have been able to run in the Preakness, and that's for another time. But anyway, it looked like he gave this a pass. Let's go up to Saratoga. Let's get him an extra race on the track before the Travers, the Jim Dandy at G2 at 1 1/8 next weekend on the 26th. So let's not deal with sovereignty journalism today in the Haskell. Let's hope we get a wet track on the Travers Day, and somehow he sneaks in and beats journalism in the Travers on a wet track. I'll tell you what, even if it's a wet track, I believe sovereignty journalism gets it done. He's an improving horse out of Curlin. Curlin was the same sort of deal. Curlin, remember, he was up there. He was what did he finish? Third, I believe, in the Kentucky Derby his first time. Then he got beat by Rags to Riches in the Belmont Stakes, and so he only comes out. Then he turns around and be 2-time horse of the year, right? Back to back, 2007, 2008. Of course, journalism out of Curlin, and journalism looks like the real deal. I mean, sovereignty, nice horse, everything goes his way, and somebody runs into trouble, he'll sneak through. He's like a Sierra Leone type. Everything has to go his way. Deep closer. Look at Sierra Leone this year, right? Nothing. He's burning money at as the chalk. Not getting it done this year. And I think sovereignty's the same type of horse. Is he even as good as Sierra Leone? Yeah, he's the same kind of horse. They're basically the same horse. What about the Travers? Meanwhile, journalism. I mean, this guy is strapping out of Curlin, gets it done. So Bill Mott, I think he's rolling. He's trying to position his horses well. Bill is known for being very good at that, knowing where to pick his spots. Whenever you see Bill Mott has an entry in a race, he usually has intentions. He's very careful where he places his horses. And I think he did that yesterday, not only because of his track, Monmouth, the way the track runs, the competition in that race, especially journalism. I guess he figured, that's not the race for me. Let's send him up to Saratoga. Let's get him an extra race on the track heading into the Travers. Hopefully we get a break there, and we go on to the Breeders' Cup and hope that somehow all the speed breaks down and we could sneak in there and steal the freaking race like Sierra Leone did last year. Like Sierra Leone, he wasn't the best 3-year-old last year, but he was spotted well, got it done, got his breaks, wins. Fierceness was the best horse last year, best 3-year-old last year. Got stuck in that wicked speed duel. Johnny V, what was he doing in the Breeders' Cup? And then Sierra Leone somehow sneaks in there and wins by a short margin. And I think Bill is looking to get the same breaks with sovereignty this year. I don't see that happening. I'm sorry, Bill. Somebody has to tell you the truth. It might as well be me. Journalism is the better horse. 4 races faster than him already. Another G1. Even his 5th fastest race was the best sovereignty ever did. We're talking men to boys here. It might be that much of a difference between the two horses. So what do you think? What about the Breeders' Cup? Journalism already yesterday winning the Haskell. Another thing, sovereignty. Bill, why didn't you run in that race? You could have secured a spot in the Breeders' Cup. Okay, he's going to be there anyway. But journalism put his stamp. That was a win in your in race, the Haskell, the biggest race in New Jersey. Gets it done. Umberto Rispoli, can he get him out? Is this his fault that journalism has had to do extra work to win some of these races by coming on late and mowing them down at the end? Because he's really not a deep closer. He's not that type of horse. He's being forced to do that. It shouldn't be that hard for journalism. He should be winning a race like yesterday by open lengths, but he's still getting it done. So the next step, the Travers, then on to the Breeders' Cup. What do you think, Bill? Now, another thing, sovereignty is going to have to face Baeza in the Jim Dandy. You know what? I say Baeza is a better horse than sovereignty. And let's see what happens in that. That should be pretty interesting. So Paesa, yeah. So let's see what happens going forward. What do you think? Journalism, the best 3-year-old this year. Did Bill Mott dodge journalism? Was he afraid of him? What do you think? What do you think his reasoning is? Put your comments down below. Hey, it's horse racing, right? Let's have some fun with it. Thanks for watching. May the horse be with you.